So we're going to start on hands and knees, but with your hands a little bit more forward than where your shoulders are. You're going to bring your knees off the ground, sit back into the hips, and you're going to lift your hips up, shift your weight forwards, really arching the back up, bringing your hips down into extension, pushing the ground away, only looking up if it's comfortable, and then you're going to tuck your chin in, push the ground away, so you're really arching the back up, all the way until you bring your hips back again. And we'll do that one more time. Hips come up, straighten the legs out, pushing off your toes. Just shift your weight forwards, bringing the hips down, extending, pushing the ground away from you and looking up, and then tucking the chin in, really separating the shoulder blades, pushing the ground away. Let's come back into your heels. Alright, and then shake out the wrists. Do a couple of these little wrist waves as well, just to keep them loose. Alright, and we're going to do so we're going to break down the front kick through, and I covered this week before last or last week, so there's a few different steps you can do. The first one is basically starting in this position. You're just going to bring one foot to where your hand is, and then you're going to lift your hand up. So you want your foot placed outside of where your hand is. Just bring the hand up to the side of your face, place the hand back down, bring the foot back, and you can alternate to the other side. Bringing the hand up, so you're trying to get a little bit of extension through the upper back, and always pushing the ground away from you. So you always want to be activated in these positions. You don't want to be sort of slouching into your shoulder or anything. And then bring the feet back. Then you can also do the next step, which is bringing the foot to the outside, but then bringing that leg through. So you end up with a straight leg, and your hand comes up, and you shift back. That one's a bit more challenging. Requires a fair bit of hip mobility, and a fair bit of core stability as well, just to hold yourself in that position and get the leg through. So if that feels okay, the last one is a jumping front kick through, which just obviously, no surprises, just means you're jumping through the movement. So starting in this position, you're just going to load a bit more into your heels, so then you can push away from the ground to bring your leg through and land up in that position, coming back, spin this way. So loading into the heels, push away from the ground, bringing the leg through, and then jumping back. So that one's the most challenging, or you can just do step through, bringing the hand up. So that's the front kick through. Then we're going to do some jumping over switches and under switches. So that's just a transition movement to get you from one position to the next, depending on what movement we're going to be going into. So a basic under switch starts here, and then you just bring your opposite hand and foot off the ground, and you pivot on the foot to bring yourself into this position. So that's a normal one, which is optional if you want to do it. To come back, so the over switch is basically just reversing that movement. So opposite hand and foot come up, you're going to come up onto the ball of your foot on this foot that's down, and you're going to pivot to bring yourself back around to the hands and feet position. So I'll just show you that again. Bring the knees off the ground, lifting opposite hand and foot, and pivot on the ball. And bring that heel down as a break. So as soon as you've pivoted around, bring the heel down, and that'll sort of control the movement. Up onto the ball, pivot, come back. So if you're doing a jumping version, you always get confused with this bit. You push off the ground with the foot that's going to be landing. So that's it there. So you're going to push off with the opposite foot that's going to be landing. So basically, if you're going to land your right foot, you're going to kick off your left foot. So you kick off and you pretty much spin. That wasn't right either. You pretty much spin in the air. So I got myself confused. We're going to kick off the right foot, land on the left foot, and come through. So kick off the right foot, land on the left foot, and you're up in this position. So left foot comes up, kick off the right foot, land the left foot down. And when you land your left foot down, have your feet pointing in the direction you want to be to land up in this position. So lift your left foot up, kick off the right foot, and just sort of do a little jump onto the left foot, but you want it twisted slightly as you land it. So you can then swing through and land up in that position. Alright, no doubt that won't be the last time I get confused with that either, just so you know. Alright, so practice those. We'll just do 1 or 2 each side. Bring the left foot up, kick off the right foot, land the left foot down, swing the right foot through, and then you can pretty much just reverse it. So bring the right foot up, push off the left foot to jump it back over. So lift the left foot up, jump in off the right foot, land the left foot down, and then land the right foot down. Alright, shake out the wrists. I'm sure you guys find that a bit of a challenge as well. Do some waves of the wrists, and then we're just going to go through a crab reach, which we've covered before a few times. Whew. Definitely getting a good workout. Alright, shake out the wrists. So, crab reach is basically from that position that we were in before. You're just going to bring, one hand's going to already be up, and then you're going to basically push your hips up into a bridge. Keep pushing the ground away through the hand, so you don't want to be collapsed into that shoulder. You want to be pretty activated. Bringing the hips up. This arm just rests on the side of your face, hips come up, and then you come back down to the start. So practice a couple other sides, switch hands. Hand comes in front of the face, hips come up. Slight rotation of the head to basically try and look at the hand that's on the ground. Just make sure you keep pushing the ground away so your shoulder is lengthened. We'll do one more the other side. Nice. Alright. Shake out the wrists. And then we'll slowly try and put those moves together into a flow. So just do what you can. If you want to do the easier version of the front kick through, that's totally fine. If you want to do the jumping kick through, it's up to you, whatever feels good for you at the minute. So we'll just do back of the hands together, just bring the elbows down gently, just for a little bit of a stretch into those wrist extensors. And then we'll do the flow. Quite a workout talking and jumping around on the ground, I have to say. Especially after a few hours of surfing as well. But it's good, it's a good challenge. Alright, so we're going to do the wave and then move straight into a front kick through on one side. And then we're going to do an under switch into the crab reach. So I'll show you what that's going to look like. First up, we're going to do the wave. So just knees off the ground, bringing the hips up into this position, getting a little bit of a stretch in the hamstrings, then shift your weight forwards, pushing the ground away from you through your toes, arching up, hips come towards the ground, into extension, keep pushing the ground away through your hands, tuck your chin in, separate your shoulder blades and push away, arching your back up, come back towards your heels. Now you might need to, at this point, just take a tiny little shuffle back with the hands, just so they're not too far away from you when you do the front kick through. So you can either do jumping, so sitting back into the heels, jumping forwards, reaching that leg straight, jumping back. Or you can just place the hand, the foot outside of the hand and bring the hand to the face, back. Whatever feels okay for you, or you can just do a step through type front kick through. So do that on one side, come back to this position, then we're going to do jumping under switch. So bring your left foot up, push off your right foot, land your left foot down, and then place your right foot down. So you land up in, I'm going to shuffle around this position, and then we just go straight up into a crab reach and back down. And then you can do a jumping over switch. So bringing one foot up, kicking off with the other foot to place that foot that was up down, and landing back in this position. And that's back to the start. So we'll go through that again. I know it's a lot to take in, but I will post this up as a video this evening as well. So you can always refer back to it and pause it and play it and take it slower. Alright, so we're going to focus on the other side this time. So whatever side you kick through with, go with the other side. This is probably the point where I'll get confused as well. So we're going to do a wave to begin with. So knees off the ground, sit it back into your heels, bring your hips up, straighten your legs out slightly, shift your weight forwards, arching your back up, hips come towards the ground into extension, gently looking up, tuck your chin in, push your shoulder blades apart, arching your back up to come back to the start position. And then when you get there, just bring your hands back a touch. So when you do the kick through, you're in a comfortable position. So either the front kick through or the step through, whatever's more comfortable. So I'm doing the left side, jump back, and then we're going to do a jumping under switch, raise one foot up, jumping off that foot, placing the other one down, landing up in a crab position. Then you're going to reach up with the hips and rest the hands, the arm inside of your face, and then coming back down. And have a little rest, shake out the wrists. This one requires a lot of left to right brain crossing, which may be challenging. Feels pretty challenging for me today, to be honest. So we'll just do little waves to the wrists, shake them out, and then do a bit of a stretch, back of the hands together, just gently bringing your elbows down. Don't force them, just take them to a comfortable, light stretch. Alright, shake them out, and then we'll go for one more round. So we'll do one more round, and what we might do is try and link them together. So we'll do the full routine on one side, and then go straight into the other side. So hopefully you'll be able to see me throughout. We'll start with a wave. Hands and knees. Bring the knees off the ground, sit back into your heels. And then bringing the hips up, arching your back up, shifting your weight forwards. Hips come down into extension. Keep pushing the ground away from you so you're not sagging into your shoulders. Chin down, separate your shoulder blades, arching your back up, back into the heels. You might want to take a couple of small steps back with the hands just to position yourself. And then we're going to do the front kick through. I'll start with the left side. Then I'm going to do a jumping under switch, bringing one foot up, jumping off that foot to turn into a crab position. Hips come up into the crab, and then coming back down, and then jumping back off one foot to bring the other foot round, so you're back into this face down position. Then we're going to do another wave, bringing the hips up, arching up, hips come down, looking up gently, chin comes down, arching up, back into your heels, and then kick through with the opposite side you did before, coming back to the start, Now the challenge is to remember which side you did the under switch with. Try and do the other side. So I'm going to kick off my right foot, land on the left to land up in this position. And then we crab reach. Hand just rests down, arm by your side of your head, and then back down to that start position. And then if you want to finish on a jumping over switch, you can. And that is a full flow. I got my lefts and rights and jumps a little bit mixed up. That's okay.